Hello everyone to this tutorial of Herbert Lüthi Mountain and Ski Guide in Zermatt. First of all, 3 safety notices. First, mountaineering or climbing should not be done alone. In case you decide to go climbing by yourself, you should climb regularly and you should have an excellent rope technique. Second, according to the manufacturer, the shunt is a Prusik knot replacement and not a belaying device. Third, this tutorial contains no information what you should do after a fall or when you can't reach the rock anymore. Enjoy it. Before we can climb and being belayed by the shunt, the rope has to be attached at the top. Very often the anchors are on the edge or below the edge. Of course you can try by reaching down to click in the rope somehow, but then you will risk to fall down. It's better to look for a different anchor, for instance a strong tree, than to rope down to the anchor and to do a self-belay and then to attach the rope there. Why do I prefer the shunt for the solo climb on a fixed rope? Very simple. The shunt is reliable, easy to handle and very gentle to your rope. Many jamming devices on the market have teeth. For instance this ascender or micro traction, but also a T-block, ropeman and many other devices. How does the shunt work? Very simple. These 2 balls squeeze the rope against the body of the shunt in order to block the rope. Because of the weight of the climber on this lever, we get the pressure to squeeze the rope. The rope is attached at the top. Now we just have to install the shunt. For this we need a locking carabiner. A screw lock carabiner is not ideal because the screw lock can get loose because of the movement while climbing. A twist lock carabiner is much better. When the weight is across, it holds only 1/3 of what it would hold straight. Therefore I recommend to choose a carabiner which you would use to belay your partner on the lead. This carabiner gets clicked to the rope up loop on the harness. Now install the shunt on the rope. Now a 100 cm sling gets laid over the lever of the shunt and clicked into the carabiner of the harness and safety lever across. The sling gets pulled from underneath through the carabiner and through the sling. In this way we get a cow hitch, which holds the shunt in position and avoids the turning of the carabiner. Now just an overhand knot, the sling gets over the head. In this way we can drag the shunt easily. If the sling is too short or too long, you just can slide the knot up or down. For everyone which it was too fast, a short repetition in a detailed view. By pressing the lever back, we can put the rope into the shunt. Lever gets back. Now the 120 cm sling over the lever gets clicked into the carabiner from the harness. Lever across. From underneath the sling gets pulled through the carabiner. Pulled through the sling to get the cow hitch. And now to the backup. We can back up the shunt in case it fails or breaks. We can install a backup in case the rope breaks. However, we don't need a backup for the anchor, because it has to be absolutely safe and holds in general several tons. I will show you step by step how to do a backup. The backup of the shunt can be done with ascenders, such as a T-block, micro traction or fall arrestor. Fall arrestor are used with rope access work. They have a big advantage that they don't have teeth, and because of this they are more gentle to the rope. I show you how to do a backup with the T-block. First of all, the shunt gets installed as I showed you before. The cow hitch holds the shunt in position. Now we take the T-block and gets clicked to the rope with the locking carabiner above the shunt. The sling gets clicked into the carabiner with the clove hitch. and close the lock. Tie the clove hitch tight, and now we can start climbing. The rope can be pulled easily through while climbing. In case of pressure, all weight stays on the shunt. The T-block hasn't got pressure. In case the shunt doesn't work, all the weight goes to the T-block. If you want to do a backup with two ropes, the easiest way is with the shunt, because the shunt has been constructed for two ropes. The disadvantage is, in case the shunt doesn't hold or breaks, then you have no backup for the shunt. It is very important that both ropes have the same diameter, otherwise the shunt doesn't work properly. To do a backup with two ropes and an additional jamming device is not so complicated. For instance, you can use a microtraction, T-block or fall arrestor. It's not so important what you use, important is you can handle the device. First of all, the shunt gets installed, as I showed you before. Now the jamming device, in this case the microtraction, gets on the rope. The locking carabiner gets clicked in the carabiner of the shunt. The lock gets closed. While climbing, the carabiner of the shunt tracks the carabiner of the backup. The rope flows easily through on both sides. In order that the rope flows nicely through the shunt or jamming device, a bit of counterweight is needed on the rope. Of course, you can attach the rope on a tree, but this is the worst idea, because while climbing you can't move to the right or left because you are blocked by the rope. Of course, the rope can be attached to a backpack and to use it as a counterweight. In my personal opinion, the easiest way is to use the loose rope for a butterfly coil. We coil the rope until no loose rope is left. When we don't have any more loose rope left, we wrap the rope around the coil. Then the rope gets pulled through the coil, flip it over the coil and we have our counterweight. And now 3 practical hints. Hint 1. When you rappel from the anchor and the climb leads to the left or right, you can click in a few quick drawers to avoid big swings. Hint 2. On very long climbs, you can attach the rope to a bolt from time to time, but make sure that you don't get slack between the bolt and anchor. Why? A rope has got a stretch of about 5 to 8%. When the distance between the climber and the anchor is very long, then the rope stretch is a long way. With anchors between, the stretch gets minimized. Hint 3. In case you decide not to climb with a backup, you can tie occasionally a knot into the rope in case the shunt doesn't block, and then you will be blocked by the knot. I hope you liked it. When you liked it, please click on the symbol with the thumb up. Thank you very much and goodbye.